So, the last couple videos I've made have been about reading, like those tag books and stuff, those tag questions and whatever. My friend Janet, she put out another one recently. I might do that, but I just wanted to talk real quick about this year in relation to reading. I haven't really read anything. I've read, I think, one book so far this year, mostly because reading takes a lot of, for me anyway, takes a lot of mental fortitude to do. And it's kind of upsetting that I haven't read more, considering all the free time that I've had this year, considering, at the beginning of the year I was working a part-time job, so I had a lot of free time, and then this whole COVID thing happened, and I had a lot of free time then when my hours got, completely decimated, and, well, more than decimated, which, if you didn't know, decimate means to destroy by a tenth, because deci, the root deci, is a tenth, to tenthify it. Just that's a free thing for you guys anyway. All this free time, but no, the mental fortitude to do it hasn't been there. Most of, there's a little bit of depression and everything, and that's always kind of sucked, but it's been kind of upsetting, because I like to read. The past couple of years have been the most reading I've done. I wanted to do a video about the books that I read in 2018 and 2019, because I made one about the books that I read in 2017, but I never, did videos on the other two. And I think the big deal with that is, I always have these little bursts of motivation to do things, especially recording videos, mostly because I don't know what to do, what to make, what to produce, what to talk about. People have said you've got a, podcast voice, which I have a podcast, at least 10 episodes of a podcast. I haven't really recorded any recently because of the whole COVID thing, and because my internet sucks. If I had better internet, then we could probably do not Zoom, but Discord or whatever, find a way to do it that way. But living out in the boonies and having satellite internet isn't really conducive for an internet presence. But hopefully that'll change in the next couple months. But yeah, I don't know. I've been thinking. I just started a new job. And, I've been working Monday through Friday and been trying to think about what I want to do and, reading wise or, just how to use my free time. I just recently beat Last of Us 2, which was good. I don't understand why everyone and their brother was fucking hating on it, but whatever. So a lot of my free time after work was spent on that and, spending time with, my girlfriend, has been, it's taking up my time, which is fine. But I've been trying to think about now that during the week, what do I want to do, spend my time, do I want to read? Do I want to write? I've been thinking about writing again, which I haven't done in a while. Which is, if anyone knows me well, that they know that I like to write more than like to read. I don't know. This year has just been weird for things in relation to reading. Back in 2018, I think I read 13 books, which is a lot for me. I'd slowly, started reading more and more books every year. 13 was the most, according to my Goodreads, that I read in a year. And then in 2019, I read 12, though, half of 2019 was pretty difficult. So reading wasn't really on the top of my to-do list. But it's been like, I don't know what it's been, but it's 2020 has just not been conducive to reading. And I might do, if anyone wants me to, I'll do a video on the books that I read in 2018 and 2019. I can talk a little bit about those books and if I would recommend anyone to read them. Some of them, there's actually a couple books that I've read over the past couple years that I do not recommend, that I fucking hate. Moral Engines. Anyway, the past couple years have seen a lot of writing, too. 2019, I wrote 2 pretty substantial horror things, which I've put out on my blog and on the blog for the horror writing and everything, and been trying to convince people to read it, even though it's unedited and it's got some errors and stuff, and it's not a finished product, but just for feedback's sake and for people to validate me, that's part of it. Not gonna lie. But this year's been tough for writing too. I had a couple ideas for like a sequel to the horror that I wrote in October, November of last year. That's not really picked up steam. I had an idea for a sci-fi piece that I was writing for a little while, and that kind of fell off. And it's just trying to keep some sort of momentum or some sort of motivation has been tough, which sucks. I don't know. I've been wanting to make more videos. The big thing about that is not really sure, like I said before, like the kind of content to make, because frankly, I don't make these for me. I do make them to be consumed by other people. And if it feels like either they're not being consumed or enjoyed, that's not really something that I want to keep doing. I don't know. It's weird. Like, I want to keep making stuff, but then I also don't want to make things if they're not being well received. I don't want to waste the time. That's why, like, I'll get these like short spurts of motivation, like every year, where I'll do like 3 things, and then I'll stop for 6 months or 8 months or whatever. Like my book club videos that I first started like 2016 or 17 or whatever, a long time ago, I did one, and then I waited like a year, and then I did another one. And it's just like, I like, there's this itch, I guess, to converse and to share ideas and to talk about books and to talk about things. And, I have this method where I've got a camera, I've got a microphone, I've got the internet, and I part of me wants to engage with people. That's why, back in 2016, I think, is when I first made the first iteration of Subject to Change, where I was doing like the podcast thing, and that kind of fell flat. And I think it's because I didn't really know what I was doing. And then I, reiterated it, this past year with, my friend Chad, is more of like a collaborative thing where it's both of us, not just me, but it's both of us. That's why I haven't done any by myself, even though I've got the capability to like produce the episodes by myself. It's always been more about a discussion between me and him about ideas instead of just me talking. That's why I use this channel for those types of things. Like last year, I don't remember when, maybe it was in October, I was making those, like, I made 2, I think, episodes of like, the week in a recap thing. And I'm like, I'm doing this for myself, and, so that I can look back on that time frame and see, like, show myself what kind of stuff happened during that time. And, it's like a reminder, because it's like, it's a historical thing, and I love history and all that sort of stuff. And I'm going to try and move the mic around and frame myself up a little bit better, because I feel like I'm too much in that in this third here, but I'm trying to frame in my my bookshelf. Well, this is my Blu-ray shelf here. Some books, some whiskey, and then like these pops that I've got back here. Which, I just had an idea. I kind of want to talk about some of my Blu-rays. Some of the first ones that I purchased and why I purchased them, and talk a little bit about my likes in that area, because people who know me well know that I like Jurassic Park. People who know me really well, if they've been paying attention, know that I really like samurai movies. Like that's like my niche thing, and I've got a good chunk over there, and for a long time I was buying them as soon as I could off of like Criterion and stuff like that. And I kind of want to talk about those. I want to talk about other things. I want to talk about art, and I want to talk about film, and I want to talk about music. I just want to talk about stuff. I'm a very extroverted person. I like to talk about those things. I like to. One thing about me is that I really like to sway people to my side when it comes to, or at least, I forget who I was talking to about this. It might have been Chad. That I'm the type of person who's really good at like pitching things to people. Like, oh, you should watch this thing. You should listen to this. You should read this. I'm always that type of person. I try to push onto other people the things that I enjoy. But I'm not so big on being like that being done to me. Like, I don't want to like what you like. I want you to like what I like, which I there's probably a word for that, or like, some explanation of that, but I've been that way for most of my adult life. And I think a part of like me wanting to talk about these things is to like inform people of the things that I enjoy, to maybe make them enjoy what I enjoy. And that's not to say that I can't be, given new like recommendations for things. Because I do, like, I've been getting band recommendations from my friends for years, or some films and stuff like that. But for the most part, I'm usually the one who's like trying to push people to like what I like, or at least I try to be. And I don't know, I want to use this channel kind of as an outlet for that, and just like a long form thing. I don't do a lot of editing, mostly because my computer really sucks. And the last time I tried to make a single cut in a video, like one edit, it took like 10 minutes just to register that one thing. So, unedited, long form stuff, and talking about whatever. But I want to do that, but then also part of me thinks that that's not very entertaining for other people. That's like the rub, right? Is that I want to talk about what I like, but is that going to be interesting for anybody else? Trying to make it compelling, I guess, or interesting. I don't know. That's kind of the thing, is like, I don't mind talking about something for half an hour. Does someone want to listen to that? Probably not. I don't know. So that's kind of what's been on my mind recently. I've been wanting to make another video and talk about stuff, and kind of test the waters and just figure out what I want to do, and try to make something consistent. But, knowing me as well as I do, I'll probably make this, upload it, and then I won't make anything for 6 months, because that's who I am as a person. I'm so inconsistent. And I don't know, what can you do? One thing that I would appreciate from anybody who watches any of this, if you get to this point, which is about 15 minutes, if there's anything that you want that you'd be interested in hearing my point of view on, or like if you want to hear about the movies I like or the books or whatever, you can leave a comment on my YouTube or Facebook. Or something, some sort of engagement to make it seem like, or to show me that you are watching. Because I've had a couple people say like, oh yeah, I watch you and all this. I'm like, do you? Because there's no real back and forth. Which, if like I say something and then you comment on it, then I can, it'll go back and forth. That's what I want to do. Because I can't have a podcast with everybody. I wish I could. I'm not, I'm not Mark Borson. I'm not, I'm not talented like that. So this is like my go around until I can do that, But I'm gonna try and make this shorter than normal. So yeah, this has just been a quick little thing about what's been going on recently and what I've been thinking about in relations to this channel. So if you watch to the 15-minute mark and, let me know. And also, but you can be blunt. Like, if you hate this, if you think I should stop, I'm perfectly content with keeping my thoughts to myself. Aside from what I said about being pushy and persuasive about things, I'm also content with just, not doing this at all. Okay. So no hard feelings if this is something that no one cares about except for me and like 2 other people. But, it's whatever. You can just let me know and we'll see how it goes.